with the Clinton Area Showboat Theater. Great to have J.K. Davis in studio with us again. And of course, we've got one of the talents is going to be on the next production, Rock of Ages. That's Avery Gallagher. But J.K., let's get started. How did the $1 Million Quartet go? I understand it was outstanding.
Yeah, it went well. Sold out 2 of the shows and got very close to selling out on 3 of the other ones. Very well received in the Clinton area. So
I know prior to that you had somewhat of a fundraiser. How did that go?
It was great. So we had a fundraiser also during the show called the Blue Suede Q is what I believe they called it. And the meat was provided by Benson's on the Mississippi over in Albany, and they do a great job. I don't know if you've been there, but it's fantastic. But yeah, that did really well. We've raised quite a bit of money from that, and then helped get some more conversations going about it. Because, like I say in my curtain speeches, word of mouth is the best way to market a show. I'll tell you that. But yeah, did that, and we did a lot of community events too. We did Thursdays on the Avenue for it, and got a lot of momentum going, so hopefully it keeps going.
That's very good. Let's talk to Avery now. Find out a little bit about you, your background, how'd you get interested in theater, and how'd you end up in Clinton, Iowa?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in a very small town outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So it's definitely a little bit more farther into the Midwest over here, which is fun. But yeah, I grew up doing theater, singing, acting all my life, and I ended up wanting to take it up as a profession. So I went to Rider University for 4 years. I just earned my BFA in musical theater as of in May, which is crazy. And this is one of my first professional contracts out of school, which is really exciting.
Have you had any other experience with summer theater before?
Yes. So 2 summers ago, I did a production of American Idiot in Asbury Park, New Jersey. So that was a little bit closer to home as a summer stock. So this is really nice to get out and kind of see the world.
So how'd you end up at Clinton Area Showboat Theater? Was it rehearsals, or how'd you get selected?
Yeah, so the audition process was actually entirely virtual. I know that they go to some colleges and universities and will audition kids there, but since I was over on the East Coast, they didn't travel out as far. But I had a friend growing up who knew the casting person for the year. He was like, this is a great season for you. I'd love for you to audition. So I submitted a self-tape, did a couple of rounds of callbacks, and here I am.
JK, who's involved with that process of deciding who's going to be on the stage?
Sure. So I hire a casting director because my background's more on the technical side of things. So we usually split it up. I usually have the casting director kind of go out and find the actors for the roles for the season, and then I find the technical staff, bring them in. So the casting director is Ryan Scoble, who's also in the show, plays Dennis, and he was here last year as well. He directed Leading Ladies and was in Young Frankenstein as the inspector. So yeah, he kind of knew the boat, said he was interested in doing it last year, and I said, great. And that was that.
So Avery, how'd you get the word that you were going to be coming to Clinton?
Oh, I sent in my callback tape, and within a matter of a couple of hours even, I saw that the video was viewed, and I got my offer in an email, and I just I was over the moon excited.
So what do you folks think about this? Are they going to get the opportunity to come see you here in Clinton?
Oh, absolutely. My mom was ecstatic. She literally booked an Airbnb down the road from the boat. She was like, oh, it's in walking distance, it's perfect. And she booked her plane ticket way ahead of time. And my aunt from Florida is also coming up, which is really exciting too. So it'll be really nice to have them in town.
Let's talk about the production, Rock of Ages. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, it is just a blast of a show. So it's a jukebox musical. So it takes a bunch of songs from 80s rock and kind of incorporates them with a plot loosely based around those songs, kind of like Mamma Mia style, if you know that show. Very similar feel, but with rock. It's great. It's just such a blast. It kind of follows the story of my character, Sherrie, a small town girl coming from Kansas, and she runs into this boy named Drew from Michigan, and they're both in Los Angeles on the Sunset Strip and kind of navigating what it's like to live in this rock-filled world.
So what are some of the songs that you're going to be performing, Avery?
Oh, so many songs. I think a couple of the main songs that Sherrie sings are At the end of the first act, she sings Heart in My Heart, kind of mashed up with Shadows of the Night. There's a lot of mashups in the show, which is really fun and great to look forward to. We close that out with Here I Go Again. For the finale, we all sing Don't Stop Believing by Journey. There's a lot of great tunes that every person will know in that audience.
I can't imagine you were around in the 80s, so what do you think about this music?
Oh, it's so fun. I mean, obviously my parents were, and I definitely grew up like on my dad's music taste especially, so it's been really nice to just like kind of live vicariously through that and kind of live in the era even though I grew up in the early 2000s.
2 more productions left to the season here in Clinton. Are you going to be involved in those next 2 as well?
Yes, so I will be in the ensemble in We Will Rock You, which is a Queen jukebox musical, which is really exciting. I'm not in the second one, but that one is Marvelous Wonderettes, and a lot of the cast from We Will Rock You and Rock of Ages is in that, and they are so incredibly talented and wonderful people. So,
Talk
yeah.
about the ensemble that we have here this summer. How are you all getting along? What's it like to work with people you've never worked with before?
We really lucked out. Like, this is a great group of people. Sometimes you always get a little nervous going into a production process being like, oh my gosh, there's so many different kids and like adults and equity actors from like different walks of life and different areas. Like, I hope we all gel, and it's been like absolutely seamless. I think like the first day we all went out to dinner together and we were immediately like talking and bonding, and it's just been like such a wonderful joy to get to know these people and to work with such talented actors.
Go back to your college days. What were some of the productions that you did while you were in school?
Yeah, one of my favorite productions that I did in college was called Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. It was on Broadway a couple years ago, led by Josh Groban. So it's based off of a section of War and Peace, not the entire book, because it is quite long. But it's a beautiful show, kind of with like a very eclectic score, a lot of electropop music and rock and folk and even like musical theater sounding music. So I played Sonia Rostova, who's one of the cousin of the main character, Natasha, in the show.
So the summer ends. What are your plans then?
Yeah, so I'm going back to Philadelphia, which is really exciting. I have another contract at the Delaware Theater Company in Wilmington, and it's Kinky Boots, and I'll be playing Nicola in that production, which is really exciting.
Do you have an agent, or are you doing all this on your own?
I do have an agent. I really lucked out. Our university, luckily, we did an in-person senior showcase in New York City this summer. So we had a couple of agents, casting directors come to that, and I signed with Pantera Murphy Agency as of like 2 weeks ago, which is really crazy. And so I'm so blessed and excited to get to work with them and get to go out on all these really cool auditions for Broadway, off-Broadway, regional productions, touring, everything. So yeah.
That sounds very interesting. Talk a little bit about that process. So, I mean, you've got the agent, you've gotten this taken care of. How often do you communicate with them?
We communicate via email. Like, typically they have like a roster, of everything that they see, and they're like, oh, we see this project that we think you're really fit for. You fit the character description. This is the right type of music or straight play or TV film selection that we think you want to go in for. So we collaborate with that. I send them my tapes. We kind of do a little review session, make sure they're all polished and clean, and then we submit for different projects or go in person if that's also what it requires.
All right, very good. Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
So you're just getting started. I mean,
Yeah.
Is theater the thing, or would you like to be maybe in television or movies?
Oh
or
my gosh. I mean,
commercials?
theater is my heart. I grew up in the theater. I mean, I got my BFA specifically in musical theater, so it's definitely something that I'm very, very strong in and have a lot of experience in. But I would love to do TV and film. I think there's a lot of opportunities in that too. And yeah, it's really wonderful.
I think you'd be perfect for like a Hallmark movie. How is it?
Thank you. I hope I can give that energy.
There you go. JK, again, getting ready for the second production. Talk a little bit about what people are going to be seeing and how they can get to the theater.
Sure. So, like Avery said, Rock of Ages, it's a good 80s rock cover, a bunch of songs. Here I Go Again, Don't Stop Believing. If you like the 80s music of those kind of bigger hair bands and, some classic rock, you're going to like this show. It is PG-13, so there is a little more mature content than Million Dollar Quartet, so just be prepared. But it is a good time. If you've seen the movie, you're going to like it. And if you want tickets, they're available on our website. You can go to clintonshowboat.com, or you can call the box office or go in person.
All right, very good. Appreciate you both coming in. Best of luck. Opening night. What time's the doors open tonight?
Doors open at 7. Show goes to 7:30.
Do you get nervous at all before a production?
It honestly depends on the show. This is definitely a very, very challenging role. It lives up in in a crazy rock kind of skrelt. I mean, the music is very hard to sing, but it's such a blast. But I know I've been taking care of myself. I know the cast has been drinking a lot of water, making sure we are well rested and everything. So I feel like we got it down.
It is such a small theater. Talk about being on such a small stage.
I kind of love it. It feels more intimate, and it's really great to see the energy of the audience and play off of that.
Do you have any rituals that you do before the start of a play?
Oh my gosh.
You hear athletes, they're different
We are.
things.
I mean, I'll roll out the yoga mat, definitely do a lot of stretches because there is a lot of dancing in the show. Typically do a couple of vocal warm-ups before I go and sing, especially this show because it is so vocally intensive for almost every person in this cast. I'll typically use a steamer or a nebulizer, just kind of get the cords nice and warm, maybe take a nice long hot shower. And even just listening to fun music to kind of get my body relaxed, or very calming music, just so I'm in the good headspace to start the show in.
All right, best of luck to you. JK,
Yeah.
just real quick, talk about the technical aspect of this particular production.
It's a rock show, so you're getting a whole rock experience. We got moving lights all over the place, flashing lights. Haze, fog, you name it. It's in there, so it's going to be a good time.
What kind of problems or opportunities does that present for you?
Well, I've lit this show as well, so, having been here for 14 years, I kind of know the boat pretty well, so not as many as it probably would have if I would have just been here for my first year, but probably just the late nights that it takes to program those cues. So.
Okay, Rock of Ages opening tonight, the Clinton Area Showboat Theater. Avery, great to meet you. JK, thanks so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Winkle, Parker, and Foster, their firm provides outstanding service to their clients because of their dedication to the 3 underlying principles of professionalism, responsiveness, and quality. At Winkle, Parker, and Foster of Clinton, they provide financial planning, tax services for business.